Ladies and gentlemen,
Are you ready?
Hey, let me tell you something. You're listening to Roundtable Sports Talk, bringing you the latest, hottest, and up-to-date sports news across the world. With your hosts, Austin and Brett.
I know you're gonna dig this.
Okay, let me get something straight with everyone right now. Okay, Aaron Rodgers is arguably the best quarterback in the league right now. I don't think so, but it's been put out there. He's top 2 or 3 in the league. He didn't throw a touchdown or a pick against Jalen, but he had an 80 passer rating, which is average. It's average, not average for Aaron, but average for a normal quarterback.
Right.
Derek Carr, he said, I don't think he's good. No picks, no touchdowns, 83. Okay, passer rating. Deshaun Watson will be league MVP in a couple years. 1 touchdown, no picks, 105 passer rating. I don't remember when he played Deshaun Watson.
I don't think he has.
So how is that even a stat? Are they talking preseason?
Probably
Because
He didn't-
Deshaun Watson never faced Jacksonville's defense last year, and that was
no,
Jalen's
because
first year.
he got hurt.
So that
before they
could be
played.
the Clemson. They could be going all the way back to college,
Oh,
which
yeah.
I think would be the only
That's
option
kind of,
there.
That's kind of
So
screwed up,
yes,
though.
Deshaun Watson, passer rating wise, ate you alive. Matthew Stafford, who Golden Tate was defending, he's straight. No touchdown, no picks, 116 passer rating, tore you up. Phillip Rivers, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 93 passer rating, ate you pretty good. Russell Wilson did terrible. He called him good, but he had a 3 passer rating. Then he goes Tom Brady, which would, I guess, be the AFC title game last year.
Yes.
Which, no, that can't be right because it says no touch. Oh, because it's in coverage against just Jalen. So he didn't throw a touchdown or a pick against Jalen. 70 passer rating, said he does not suck. So the trend is when he says guys are good, they're not doing very well against him. And when he says guys suck, they're just destroying him. This one kind of surprised me. He went with Tyrod Taylor, who had 1 touchdown, 1 pick, or no pick, which I guess would have been the wild card game last year. Tyrod had a 146.8 passer rating, and Jalen said better than he gets credit for. Okay. Marcus Mariota, my guy, says great for their team. Well, my team swept you last year. 81 rating. Nick Foles, 40 rating, good enough, had a good team. I pretty much believe that. Now, these are the guys that he mentioned negatively in the article, okay? Andrew Luck, who, before he got hurt, was a force to be reckoned with.
Yes.
Last time he played Jalen and threw at Jalen in coverage, 1 touchdown, 140 passer rating. He says, I don't think he's really that good. Well, Jalen, he ate you up a little bit. Big Ben, obviously, 3 picks against Jalen last year, 56 passer rating, decent at best. That's a 2-time Super Bowl champion. You say it's decent at best? Come on, Jalen. Jared Goff, I like Jared. I think he can be a good starting quarterback in the league. I don't think he's going to win any MVPs or probably any Super Bowls unless that defense carries him. 111 passer rating, no picks, no TDs, average to above average. I could probably agree with that with Jared Goff. Jimmy Garoppolo, all schemes. I guess you could say he's good. Jimmy Garoppolo, I don't know if anybody watched the game. I think it was the second to last game of the season last year. He put on a clinic against Jacksonville. Okay, Jalen, he had 100 passer rating against you. And then last one was Joe Flacco, 2 picks, no touchdowns, 25 passer rating, says sucks. I will agree, Joe Flacco in the last 2 to 3 years has sucked. Before that,
Like a downfall.
yeah, since his Super Bowl, he's went down.
Yeah.
So I don't know where Jalen gets a lot of these. I mean, he's a competitor and he plays against these guys. So I think a lot of his grudges he holds because some of these quarterbacks have beat him, and that's why they got a lower, response from him. So now, okay, everyone thinks that that's why I'm mad at Jalen this week because he called people out. I don't really care. That's the NFL. You call people out. I was going statistically with the whole thing. And I'm fixing to bring JP here in a few minutes on the phone. We went back and forth on Twitter this week for a little while, and him and a couple other guys were saying Jalen's like the best corner out there and blah, 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 blah. And I threw out some names like Malcolm Butler, Darius Slay, Marshawn Lattimore, Xavier Rhodes, Marcus Peters, guys like that are like, I mean, I know Marshawn's young, but the other guys have established themselves in the league.
Right. A couple years in the league.
Yeah, and I think overall play, they're better than Jalen. Like athletically, they're a little older. They might not be as good like that. But as far as the way they play the game and the impact they have on the field for their teams, I think is a little bit better than what Jalen does because, as I was saying with JP, Jalen has a dirty front seven in front of him or beside him or however you want to call it with Calais Campbell, Malik Jackson, Dante Fowler, Yannick Ngakoue, Telvin Smith, Miles Jack, had Puzzlesny. Okay. You know, that arguably the best defense in the league. So when you look at he wants to talk schemes, he might just be a product of a scheme.
Yeah, you could be right.
So, and again, I think he's good, and I think he has a potential to get better. But don't be comparing him to Darrelle Revis and like Showtime now,
no.
or don't even compare him to Asante Samuel. No. Like, and also,
I don't think he's established himself yet to be compared.
I mean, he had like that whole team had a really good year, and I just think they're not gonna obviously downfall this year, but they fall off a little bit because teams are gonna start to figure that defense out. So, you know, statistically, you know, I'll get to that in a minute when I bring in John Paul. So, I don't know. Like, what do you think? Do you think Jalen is the best corner out there now?
No. I would say he's a great corner, but the best? No.
I don't even want to say great yet because when I say great, like I think
average.
I mean, really good. I'm going to put Jalen down at really good.
Okay.
I'm going to put Marcus Peters at really good. Marshawn Lattimore, really good. Darius Slay, really good. Malcolm Butler, good. Xavier Rhodes, good.
But who's the best?
The best corner in the game right now is hard because I have the stats right here. Jalen, you know, he's I won't say middle of the pack, but he's top 4 in stats, which is
stat-wise, okay.
Yeah, which is where I think he falls overall play-wise. And then obviously he's got the mouth. He's got, you know, that's Jalen. That's how he was at Florida State. And I also had an argument about how at Florida State, his freshman year is when they won the title in 2013. And that's when they had a really good front seven. I can't remember everyone. But his next 2 years, you know, he only recorded 3 picks his entire 3 years in Florida State. And the argument was used, well, no one throws against him or throws at him because he's very good. That's how corners die. That is how corners die in the NFL. You become good. You have 1 or 2 good years, really good years. And that's just, teams are like, okay, yeah, we're just not going to throw at you. And we're going to let you sit over there on your little island in man-on-man coverage by yourself. And, you know, if I'm an offensive coordinator, not even offensive coordinator, if I'm a guy on the offensive side and Jalen's covering me, I'm talking.
Oh, for sure.
I'm going to talk to Jalen and get in his head because he was hit for a couple penalties last year. So, but I got JP on the line right here. We're going to say what's up to him and let him yell at me about Jalen a little bit. So here we go. Hello.
What's up?
What up, man?
Jalen, what's up with you?
Oh, you know, I'm just talking about your guy Jalen right here.
Yeah, what y'all saying?
Just, you know, going over kind of what we've been talking about all week and about how everybody was jumping on me on Twitter and Facebook about it.
Well, you make stupid comments.
It's not stupid. It's Jalen's very good, but he's not the best right now.
That's crazy to me. He was literally ranked as the top corner in the year last year.
Yeah, rankings. I mean, rankings are rankings. You know, the media puts those out, but I'm looking at his stats, which are not bad at all.
Stats, if you want to go by stats, I think the boy in Buffalo is the one that won it. What's his name?
Tre'Davious White.
Yeah.
I have that right here. So here, I have a couple guys put up for you that I was kind of like talking about on Twitter, like Darius Slay and guys. So what I have is Jalen had 21 passes deflected last year. Okay. Tre'Davious White had 22, so they're about even. Malcolm Butler only had 14. Darius Slay had 26. Marshawn Lattimore only had 18. Xavier Rhodes only had 10. And Marcus Peters only had 4 last year. He had 20 in 2016. And, yes, those are the guys I pulled up. So Jalen is second on that list, or third on that list for passes deflected last year.
Okay.
Interceptions, he's Marshawn had 5. Slay had 8. Tre'Davious White had 4. Jalen had 4. Xavier Rhodes had 5, or had 2 last year, 5 the year before. So, but kind of like you argued, you know, when a guy is good, you don't throw at him as much, obviously.
Yeah. 100%.
Which
I mean, I agree. That's probably why old Darius Slay's got so many passes batted down. They're probably trying him every play.
yeah, exactly. I mean, well, you know how it goes. I mean, you can even look at the Darrell Rivas case or anything. Even you can look at Marcus Peters' case.
Look at Richard Sherman. He had a great
Yes,
year.
exactly.
Probably was gonna happen to Jalen. He had a good year last year. His mouth got real big, just like Richard Sherman. And I think what he's trying to do is he's trying to piss some people off, a couple quarterbacks, and make them throw at his side just out of spite. And if it works, great for him. It's only gonna make him look that much better. But if it doesn't, they're gonna stay away from him, and all of it's gonna go quiet. When you don't really hear about a corner a whole lot, it's probably a good thing because they're not getting picked on, and nothing's really happening. But the only reason it's relevant, since you want to talk about stats, is because Jalen's mouth. That man makes himself relevant, but he backs it up. So
yeah, and like I was telling Brett, I don't really have a problem with his mouth. I mean,
obviously no.
Trash talk is trash talk, and if you get, if you can't back it up, then everyone's gonna look at you dumb. So I mean, Jalen's probably gonna back it up some this year. He's gonna get beat some this year. It's gonna go back and forth. He's a competitor, so he's
corner. You're literally 1-on-1 with a receiver. It's gotta happen.
Yeah, and their schedule's pretty tough this year. He doesn't have a lot of hard wideouts to go against if you want to look at like personnel wise. But
I mean, look at last year. What did Darius Slay follow the receiver around just like Jalen did? Probably not.
I'm not sure. I don't know what they do. Jags are one of the only teams that really. Jags and like Seattle and maybe Arizona are really the only teams that play a lot of man-to-man all the time. Everyone else plays zone almost.
Yeah,
you D up on you man up on like third down, but
yeah.
Which I don't even know. I mean, that's the other thing too. Which I don't have any of that in front of me. It's just an assumption. I don't know how well Jalen's zone coverage is because Jags very rarely play it.
Yeah,
he's obviously a man-on-man guy. So that's,
even Packers in Jacksonville can go man on man.
Yeah, well, because they all run like 4-4s.
Yeah.
So. But and then we were talking the whole front seven thing
because of his stats and the way he carries himself, and because he follows around the best receiver on every single team they play. So, I mean, you can argue that all you want. He's done his thing against the top guys in the league. He made DeAndre Hopkins his little what.
Yeah, I mean, he's
arguably the number one receiver in the league.
I'd also like to see. See, here's the other thing, too. You make that argument, though, but Jalen never faced Deshaun Watson last year.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
So he had like Tom Savage throwing DeAndre Hopkins the football. I mean, you could go out there and probably, cover somebody if Tom Savage is throwing the ball. I know, I know you're only like 5'10", but, we both know you got ups and can run.
Man, that would be fun. No, you'll really see this year. You'll see this year. I mean, he's going to follow around the number one again, and I think he's only getting better. I mean, pick your poison with Jalen or AJ. I mean, Antonio Brown picked on AJ last year, but, I mean, he's the number one receiver in football.
Yeah, he does it to everybody.
Arguable. He's the number one receiver in football. Like, that's bound to happen.
The only thing that I see with Jacksonville is, I think their defense falls off a bit this year because people have seen it now. And,
I mean, what's there to see about lining up man on man and blitzing?
Well,
it's basically lining up and begging somebody to beat us.
Yeah, well, I'm saying what you're going to see now is a lot more what like New England and those guys do. They're going to run a lot of pick plays and they're going to run underneath stuff. That's how New England always wins. So I think with Jacksonville bodying up the way they do and these stupid freaking like penalties that they've been throwing in the preseason.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That is retarded. Like, they're going to have to figure something out with that because if not...
They might as well take the safety position out of football now if you don't want them to hit.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you're not allowed to run full speed and hit a guy, then they should just... I don't know. I hate it. It's stupid. It takes away the speed of the game. They've always said when you slow football down, it becomes more dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
Because guys are thinking instead of reacting.
Yep. Now, well, I mean, it started with you had guys, instead of hitting up high, because I mean that's what they were taught, and there was too many concussions. They started going low.
Yeah, ask Rob Gronkowski.
Every 10 days, there's an ACL tear.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I mean, it's football, man. They signed up to play this game. They knew what they were signing up for, and they're only getting paid millions and millions of dollars to play it.
Yeah,
so I get that we've got to work on the safety issue, but I mean, at some point, they signed up for the game, bro. Like,
Yeah, I mean, they're getting paid that much money to go put their body on the line. It's not like we're just asking them to do it for fun. You know, it's a choice.
but and that's the case where you got these people wanting these guaranteed contracts. I mean, and I can see why. I think everybody should be fully guaranteed.
Look at Khalil Mack. He's lost, I think, what, $1.5 million already this year?
Yeah, because he's not showing up for the second one.
Yep.
Fun
fact.
I think the contract should be all guaranteed for all of them. I mean, they deserve it. They're
That's
out there
a lot
busting,
of guaranteed money, though.
Basically year round.
Exactly.
To get themselves in shape for this. And if something happens that ends their career, that's it. Like, a lot of them didn't graduate college. They don't have degrees. Like, they don't have much to fall back on, unless it's broadcasting.
Yeah, I mean, if you go in there as a rookie and, you know, if you're a high draft pack like Khalil was, you know, you're going to get, you know, 12. I don't know what he got, but I imagine you're going to get between probably 10 and, you know, $20 million guaranteed somewhere, or like a sign-in type bonus deal. But I mean, I know it's a lot of money. I get that, but like if I sign a 4-year deal and I'm only guaranteed $5 million up front, but my contract's, you know, $40 million, and then I go out there week 2 and I'm done, you know, that's a lot of money you miss out on that they kind of get away from you. So yeah, if not the whole contract, at least half of it should be like guaranteed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're getting to the point. Everybody's pretty much getting guaranteed.
Yeah.
What's the name started it? Kirk started it, and I think it was a rookie that just signed a fully guaranteed contract. I forget who it was.
I don't know who it was either. Yeah. I don't know. It'll come around more and more, especially if they're worried about safety and all this crap that's going on.
Yeah.
But and also that I've kind of figured since I've been sitting here looking at all this, I revoked my Marcus Peters better than Jalen idea. Because I don't know what happened to him last year. I don't know if he was hurt or what, but he had a good like 2015-16, so let's see this year. I still would put Darius Slay up there just because of statistics. We'll have to see this year. Tre'Davious White, obviously. And then, you know, I just think Marshawn Lattimore being young has a long way to go. Xavier Rhodes, I don't remember if he's very old or not. And then Malcolm Butler's with Tennessee, so our defense is never very good.
Yeah.
But
yeah, your little comment was kind of crazy to me.
Well, I still think he's the third or fourth best, maybe fifth. Well, I say I'd put him at fourth best corner in the league. Now, if you want to talk straight DB, like throw the safeties in there, Jalen falls to like number 12 because there are some safeties in there that hit harder than Jalen, and they play. Now, you can't look at tackles because obviously safeties get a lot of run support plays that the corners miss out on.
Bro, how many corners do you see come up and play the run like Jalen does though?
I don't know how much Jalen plays the run. I'll have to watch that. I don't have, you know, it's not really. I'd have to remember more than be able to prove it to you.
Jalen makes plays. Jalen's a baller. Jalen has a mouth, and everybody loves it, and he backs it up.
Well, everyone loves the young mouthy player.
Yeah.
Until he starts creating locker room problems. When Blake Bortles is straight trash this year.
For you to sit there and say that Lattimore is better than Jalen, though, after just his rookie year is kind of asinine, too.
Well, you just say Jalen's better than everyone out there after 2 years is kind of asinine.
There was one corner in the league that I might have put up there, but he's fallen off, and that was Richard Sherman. And Josh Norman, all he does is get exposed now. So
Josh Norman had like 11 good games in his career, and people started calling him the best, which is like what's happening to Jalen. Listen, if Jalen comes out this year and does it again, then it's a little more of a thing. But corners to me have like 1 or 2 years of being really good, and then they just fall into the average like bundle of corners in the league.
There's one corner who is good year in and year out, and he holds his own every single year, and that's Patrick Peterson.
Yeah, when he's healthy. That's only his downside. But that's I didn't pull up his stuff right here. I actually forgot about him.
Yeah,
and
does the same every year. I mean, there ain't nobody else that has back-to-back years. If Jalen does so if Jalen balls again this year, will you call him one of the greatest corners?
I'm not going to use the word great until he plays 8-9 years and dominates like Darrelle Revis did or Deion Sanders. You can't call someone great. I mean, that's to be like calling Carson Wentz great, and he's better than Tom Brady right now because he had one good season.
Let Carson come out next year and ball.
That's fine.
Let Carson come out next year and ball.
Let me know when he gets to 5 or 4, 3. Oh wait, let me know when he gets to 1 legit Super Bowl.
He might be there next year.
Because everyone understands that Carson Wentz's Super Bowl ring has an asterisk next to it right now. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it does. It does. I mean, I think that team would have, would have beat the Patriots by a lot more if Carson Wentz was a quarterback.
I think they're gonna have trouble this year because I think Wentz is gonna come out. He's obviously not gonna lay an egg. I don't know who they play, but if he isn't performing at this MVP rate right away, I think you're gonna hear some Foles chants from some Philly fans because you know how hostile they can be.
That's if Foles can stay healthy,
bro, that city loves Carson, bro. You give them.
Well, they also love Terrell Owens and Donovan McNabb and Shady McCoy and all those guys too. And then when they started going south, they ready to boot them away.
Bro.
That's what I can't do. That's what I can't.
Got backstabbed. That
Who?
city loves Shady.
He got backstabbed. Yeah, he got traded off by the racist Chip Kelly.
Come on, that city loved him all the way through. He just got backstabbed by the organization.
Do you guys remember that? Do you remember when Chip Kelly was getting rid of all of his athletes?
John Jackson, Shady, all of them.
Yeah, he just went in there and was like, "Yeah, you're not white. Bye. See,
goodbye."
I mean,
he got rid of J Mac and all of them.
Yeah, and kept what was his name? Riley Cooper.
Riley Cooper.
That was terrible. God, dog. Well, but it was good to hear your side of things because that's about what I expected. I'm stoked for this year so we can see what happens. I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch a Jaguar game with you though because,
I'm obnoxious.
All Jags fans are agnostic. Literally, last year I pulled for Jacksonville every single game, and this year I do not want to. Well, every game except for the Tennessee games. But this year, I don't want to pull for Jacksonville.
Bro, I've been obnoxious every year, even though we suck. I'm still obnoxious.
Well, you used to be pretty humble about how bad they were, but now that they won, what did they win? 10 games.
Oh no, I still hate Blake Bortles. I still hate him. So.
Well, I think everyone's gonna hate him after about 3. When he goes out there week 1 and has a passer rating of 40, and even if they win by a touchdown because Fournette breaks a 30-yard run to seal the game, everyone's like, oh my god, Blake Bortles is so good. No, the defense and Leonard Fournette won the football game.
But at the end of the day, all we have and all we need to win games is an average quarterback. Now, maybe even he's slightly below average. He might be. I don't really know where he's at, to be honest with you. He's in between below average and average.
Yeah, but do you know how long that? Do you know how long that lasts in the NFL? That lasts 3 years.
Yeah, that's how long great defense lasts.
Exactly.
But either way, if you put him up to some of these other quarterbacks, man, it's not. Give Jacksonville anybody else.
Dude, right now. If I'm
almost not a competition.
If I'm Jacksonville, I am calling the Jets and be like, give me Teddy Bridgewater right now, please.
He did good last night.
We will give you the future first 3 round draft picks. Give us Teddy Bridgewater. So then you have a future. You have at least 4 years with Teddy. Right now, as a Jacksonville fan, okay, if your defense, like you said, defenses die out in 3 years. Y'all just wasted 1. Okay.
We didn't waste one. We made it to an AFC title with below average quarterback.
Yeah, because everyone was surprised by Jacksonville. Everyone's like, holy crap, their defense is really good. What do we do? This year, it's hey, their defense is really, really good. So we're going to, hold the ball in, actually, I think the way to beat Jacksonville this year would be to score quickly. And then Blake
hold the ball, please. I want them to hold the ball forever. That way Blake never touches it.
Yeah, so
our defense
what I'm saying is Jacksonville now will have another season with a bad quarterback who can make some throws at times, but is still terrible at decisions. They have a young, good, pounding running back with a little bit of injury history, but he should be good for 13 games. And you have a really good defense. So say they make it back to the playoffs this year, they don't go to the Super Bowl, okay? Now you're down to 1 more year left, and you're still relying on Blake. Get you somebody who can carry that defense when they start to fall off. That's the thing.
We don't even have a good backup, though, do we?
They don't have a backup.
No.
But you can't have one because
Cody Kaiser or whatever his name is.
Yeah, Cody Kessler. Look at what that play. I mean, I know the Browns suck and it's hard to excel there, but I don't know.
He kind of did a thing in the preseason game.
Yeah, everyone's doing their thing in the preseason games.
Baker Mayfield is, boy.
Yeah.
But all right, bro. Well, it was good talking to you.
All right, yeah, man.
All right.
Appreciate it, and we will holler at you later.
All right.
See ya.
Go Jack.
Go Jacks. All right. Okay, so that's the infamous John Paul, Jag lover extreme. Won't take no for an answer, which is cool. I mean, that's how the way you should be about your team.
For real. Hometown team.
This freaking whole segment has turned into Jalen Ramsey. I did not really expect it to be the whole entire thing.
Well, there's not much to talk about. It's preseason.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like I said, I could care less of what Jalen said. I thought it was funny, intriguing.
He was just roasting.
I think it was more of a, I don't think it was his real thought process of those guys, but I think he did it to stir.
He's a talker. That's what he is.
And he wants to stir the pot, which is fine. Like JP said, he wants to stay relevant, which any young, rich kid wants to.
Exactly.
But yeah, my final thought, if I had to make a list right now of corners in the game, me personally, I'm going probably Darius Slay, Lattimore, and then there's a tie between Jalen and Tre'Davious White. And then you're going to have Rhodes and, like he said, Patrick Peterson. I guess
I forgot about Patrick Peterson.
Tyrod Matthews still a corner. I don't know if they've put him at a Sam or what. So that's him. Okay, moving into the talk. Let's do a little bit of news about how the preseason has went. We did obviously our first show after the first round of games. Mm-hmm. Then there was another round of games. I don't remember really what happened because it's the preseason. There's actually 3 games on right now. Atlanta's leading KC 7-3. Detroit is down to the Giants 7-3, and Carolina's up in Miami 6-0. But apparently Miami's in the red zone. Cleveland's playing too. Cleveland and Buffalo. Cleveland's up 7-0.
Friday's more of the bigger slate.
Friday you got Arizona, New Orleans. Well, actually, no, it's Saturday. Saturday you have Jax, Minnesota, Oakland, LA, Cincy, Dallas, Tampa, Tennessee, Houston, San Fran, Denver, Chicago. Yeah, it's like all the freaking games. Okay, injury report, preseason and camps and practice. You have Big Ben was apparently dropped on his head at some point, which you can't touch the quarterback in practice, for those of you who don't know.
No.
So what probably happened was he threw the ball and someone fell down behind him, and he probably was backpedaling or coming off of his throw, plant foot, fell down. Apparently, he laid on the ground for like 2 minutes, which Big Ben's a big guy, so it's
big guy. Like,
have you noticed since he's gotten older, when he falls down, he takes like an entire
5 million years to fall down
and to get up. Like he hits the ground and he's down there. It's like, okay, hang on, injury timeout. Big Ben fell.
The problem is you don't see Tom Brady. Tom Brady doesn't get.
Tom rarely gets it.
Yeah, he does. I think people hit him just to hit him.
Tom and Peyton Manning mastered the when they feel someone coming, they just fall down. That way they can't get torched. But anyway,
not Blake Bortles though. He just throws it away.
Yeah, or
throws it down the field.
He runs a little bit. So yeah, Big Ben was hit. He fell. Went in a concussion protocol. Came out. Said he was fine. No concussion.
It was scary there. I was like, oh.
When I seen it, I was like, here we go, another Big Ben injury season. But they played last night and let Green Bay score 51 on them.
Yeah, they got destroyed.
Which Big Ben did not play, but they did say he will play their next game, which I guess is next weekend.
There's including the Hall of Fame game. There's 5 preseason weeks, so
yeah, which I never counted that one.
Isn't it the more closer to get, the more stars will play?
To me, this is week 2. Everyone's on their second game. Were played last night, so Big Ben fine. Antonio Brown limped off the field at practice, but he came out last night. I think he scored a touchdown. You have the Patriots first rounder Wynn, which I believe is offensive tackle or guard, tore his Achilles, out for the year. So another rookie gone. Sad.
Achilles.
Yeah, I mean it's
terrible.
That's not one you want to hurt right there. Because
look at Kobe Bryant.
When you have that surgery, you're never the same.
Look at Kobe Bryant.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, McKinnon for the Niners. I'm not sure who
Jerick
that is.
McKinnon played for the Minnesota Vikings.
It might be. It says he has a calf and he's going to miss the rest of the season.
A calf. Oh, okay.
I almost said Charles Barkley. Saquon Barkley is banged up.
Already?
He's not playing. Yeah, it's Jerick McKinnon.
McKinnon.
So San Francisco 49ers will shut down running back Jerick McKinnon for the rest of the preseason. So
they used to have a good running back squad.
This says not going to be long term. So I guess he's going to be back not this week, but week 1 of the regular season. So that's fine. I don't know any other big names that were hurt at all. I think there's been 2 or 3 ACL tears.
It's been bad this year.
Yeah, it's every year anymore. Not that I can remember anyone's names because I think they're kind of low-key guys that have been hurt. Seahawks cut defensive end Marcus Smith. Don't know the reasons for that. And the one thing I do want to talk about, we touched on a minute, kind of with JP for a second, was because Tyrod Taylor is now in New York with the Jets. Mm-hmm. And then they drafted Sam Darnold with the 5th or 6th pick or something
Yeah,
like that.
but they have.
I was high on Sam Darnold because he's the one that come out of USC.
But he didn't play well.
No, he hasn't played well in the preseason yet. And, it's one of those guys. He's a pro-style-ish guy, so he's not going to get out there and run around and be a gunslinger like Baker Mayfield's doing.
Exactly.
So he's going to be more of a pocket presence type guy, and that takes a while to learn in the NFL because the speed's so different.
For real.
Well, they also, like I said, have Tyrod Taylor, who has come out and played very well in the preseason. Tyrod's a seasoned guy. He took the Bills to the playoffs last year.
He did.
So they're thinking, okay, should we start Tyrod week 1 or should we start Sam?
Or Teddy Bridgewater. Oh, no, we're a different team.
Teddy's...
Other New York team. I was thinking
you
the
know
Jets.
what? I might have just mixed those two up.
I don't think Tyrod Taylor plays for the Jets.
I'm talking about Teddy.
Oh, Teddy Bridgewater.
I think Teddy is who was what the article was on. For some reason,
You're getting mixed up there, buddy.
because Tyrod moved too, though. Tyrod's with Cleveland now. Yeah,
Oh, God.
Tyrod's with Cleveland now.
Teddy Bridgewater played good last night, though. Even with that.
Well, that's who I'm talking about. I don't know why I've been saying Tyrod. I think because there was an article about saying we've been pronouncing Tyrod Taylor's name wrong like all of this time. But yeah, so I'm sorry. I'm talking about Teddy Bridgewater, which I think Teddy's
It's scary. He's had ankle problems, knee problems.
Teddy's been in the league, what, 3 years?
Yeah, 2 years with the Vikings.
So that's what it is. Teddy's playing well in the preseason. Sam Darnold is not. So they're like, do you start Sam Darnold, who is a fresh, brand new, wet behind the ears rookie, or do you start Teddy, who's been in the league 3 years but hasn't
injury prone.
Yeah, he hasn't made it a full season. When he first came in with Minnesota, he was great.
Oh, for sure.
Then he got hurt, and then everyone's like, oh, gosh, just the RG3 thing again, a great runner, can sling the ball, but he can't stay healthy. So I don't know who you start. Do you start your young guy and let him crash your burn?
That's what the preseason's for.
Well, yes, but the competition's not the same.
Yeah, no.
Or do you let Teddy play and see if he can – because it's not like the Jets are going to the Super Bowl this year. Like, they're rebuilding.
Exactly.
So if I'm them, I let Teddy start. And if by like week 4 you're not at least 2-2 and he hasn't been playing well, you sit him and let Sam play. Mm-hmm. And you have a quarterback competition all year, which I know that does create some controversy throughout the year.
The other two don't work out, then you always got Josh McCown.
Oh, Josh.
So
again, though, I mean, he was one of those guys that got thrown in early and just it never worked.
Exactly.
And then you become a full-time, forever backup, still making millions, so it's really not that bad. But yeah. Oh no, that's not a caller. So, but yeah, so I can't believe I got Tyrod and Teddy mixed up.
tease.
I guess I don't know why I was thinking because he's with the Browns and they're like, well, that one's the same way too. Should we start Tyrod or should we start Baker? What do you do there?
I don't know, man.
Again, but see, you waste. I'm not gonna say you waste. You use those draft picks to get those high key guys. Your fans are ready to throw them in there. Let us see what they have. You don't want to see your first.
Yeah, let's
top
see your
5.
magical plan play out.
Yeah, you don't want to see your top 5 draft picks sit the bench.
God, no.
Behind someone that hasn't failed but hasn't succeeded.
Had the experience yet.
Yeah, like I don't think Tyrod can carry Cleveland to 5 wins because they're not. I know they've beefed up, but the culture is not winning.
People have been
yet.
hot on the Browns this season too.
But the culture is not there for them to win. And then the Jets, for Teddy, haven't been to the playoffs since Rex Ryan, and they went to the AFC title game and Mark Sanchez.
Oh God!
So it's not like either of these teams have a legit chance to do anything this year. So why not experiment and use your young guys?
I don't know, man. That's it's up in the air. You know.
But the other things we were just wanting to point out, Tom Brady looked
mid-season Tom Brady
27 last night. He went 19 of 26, 172 yards, 2 TDs in the first half.
One to Chris Hogan.
That one was beautiful.
Beautiful.
Drop back, pocket collapse, rolled right, ran straight into a defender and slung it. Got hit a little bit.
That is Tom Brady.
Beautiful. It was like 15, 20-yard throw to back in the end zone.
Yeah.
And
beautiful.
You've seen where everyone is saying this is the year he falls off because they said Peyton turned. Well, I think Peyton only turned like 39 or 40 when he went out. But Brett Favre, when he turned 41, I think he threw 11 touchdowns and 19 interceptions. The year before that, his stats were identical to Tom's stats last year. So they're saying, Tom turned 41. Brett was really good at 40. and then he turned 41 and fell off the shelf.
This is every year, though.
That's the thing with Tom. It's just like, but inevitably it has to happen, right?
Yep. As soon as the season ends, as soon as preseason starts, they're like, oh, Tom Brady's about to hit the hill.
And and honestly, New England has done really, really bad the first month of the season in the last 2-3 years. Remember the one year they were 3-3 or 2-3?
Yeah.
They lost to Kansas City by like 150 points. And they're like, oh my God, Tom Brady's washed up. And then they won the rest of the way and won Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And then last year, they were really, 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 really close to repeating. So don't tell me that he's just going to fall off a cliff. I think Tom is going to be a gradual descender. He will not be a plunge guy.
We talked about this. Tom Brady, as soon as he gets close to being hit, he just falls to the ground.
Well, yeah, he's a smart guy. That's where I think Big Ben's career would take a little bit of a turn, and because Ben's like 38, I think, so he's getting close to the end. But he would be in a lot better shape if he didn't take those hits. But he's a stubborn guy. He's a competitor.
He's a beefy guy.
He's not a finesse quarterback. He is like a rocket arm quarterback, and he's going to stand in the pocket and sling it. Where Tom in the last 5 years has turned into a finesse. Ever since Randy Moss left, which is actually, that's like 11 years ago. So I'll give it like 2012 probably. Tom has become like a finesse passer.
Exactly.
He puts the ball on the point rather than just gunning it
right on the money, though, too.
Yeah.
Every throw.
Yeah, and he, I think I looked at a thing last night, and it was saying how it was talking about Sam Darnold. The fans were frustrated that he wasn't taking shots downfield. All of his passes were within 10 yards. And the guy was like, well, I don't see why that's a problem. And he pulled up Brady's stats from last night, because I guess it was this morning I read this, or I don't know what it was. Like, Tom's first 8 passes were like 8 yards or less. It was like 4, 6, 4, 7,
Short
8,
field.
4.
Short field game.
They throw the underneath stuff, and then the guys run for first downs. And when that works beautiful. Really,
in crunch time, it works.
Like, well, against man coverage, it works because if your guy gets a step, zone is a little harder going over the middle like that because So, but a lot of teams like to play man against New England, and that's why they run the shorter stuff. It works. So Tom Brady,
smart guy,
41 years old, playing like he's 27. I predict at least a Super Bowl appearance. Because Jacksonville's not going to knock him off. They'll probably never see him.
Who's going though?
Jacksonville might beat him in week 3 because they're terrible in the first. Who's going?
Yeah, you say it's going to be another Super Bowl appearance for Tom Brady, but
yeah, I don't have a prediction just yet. I normally try and do one before, obviously, week 1. I don't remember who. I think last year is the year me and JP had like the Giants going to win it all, and they won like 3 games. So. I don't know. It's there's no one else in the AFC. I mean, Jacksonville's going to be. I think Jacksonville's going to be a 9 to 10 win team.
They're going to be in the playoff mix, but I don't think they're.
I don't know if they win the division. They might be a wild card. So if you play wild card, you're going to get someone who is. I don't think the Bills are going to go back. I think the Titans will be close, even though we have a tough schedule. Pittsburgh will be back in. New England will be in. Oh, God, who else was even in last year? The Bills, but they're not. I don't think the Ravens will really get anywhere.
The Chiefs didn't go last year.
The Chiefs don't have Alex Smith anymore. So, I mean, Houston, I think, gets in the playoffs. So, I don't think there's any way 3 teams from the AFC South go in. So, I think it's Houston or Jacksonville or Tennessee and Jacksonville. I don't think Tennessee and Houston go unless Jacksonville just has like a giant falling out and Blake Bortles plummets and they start scrambling and scrumbling because they don't know who to put in a quarterback and Leonard Fournette doesn't throw the ball very well. So,
I don't think Leonard Fournette can carry every single play.
Yeah, well, you can't Maurice Jones-Drew him because he won't have a career in about 3 years, which I don't think Tom Coughlin will do that. But just the AFC, I think it's going to be a New England versus Pittsburgh AFC title game, which it could be in Pittsburgh. It really should have been last year, but Jacksonville got in the way. And then from the NFC, it's hard to go against the Eagles, but I think they're going to struggle a little bit. Dallas probably makes the playoffs, but they don't make a real push.
Yeah, they're getting Zeke back, full health.
Yep. Seahawks aren't any good. I don't know what to think of Jimmy Garoppolo.
Come on now, don't. I'm a
49er.
I'm a 49er fan.
Well, I mean, he played good for 5 good games, but God, it's the same thing. Like, it's even worse than the Jalen thing. He played 5 good games, and all of a sudden,
Jimmy
he's
G
like
this, Jimmy G that.
the second best quarterback in the league. Like, no, let him play a full season. When you take a guy who has not played all year long and you just throw him in at the end of the season against some scrub teams, I think Jacksonville was the best team he played.
And I think he lost.
No, San Francisco beat him.
Did they?
Yeah, but it's like, okay, you're throwing a guy in that no one has film on, no one's played against, no one knows what they're going to do with them, and you surprise people. Now they have tape. Now they know what they like to do. Now they know what he likes to do, his tendencies. It'll be a different year. Atlanta will be right back. I could see Atlanta versus Philly NFC title game and Pitt versus New England, which is cliche to say, I think, because they're probably and the Saints. So there's like the best 5 teams in the league, and then I guess I throw Jacksonville in 6th or 7th best team in the league collectively, because you have like the first or second best defense, and you have like the 22nd best offense. So I don't know, but Aaron Rodgers.
He did okay.
He only threw 4 passes. He didn't really play much.
35 yards and touchdown. To Jimmy Graham.
To Jimmy Graham, who is now in Green Bay and did a Lambeau leap. Nick Foles hurt his shoulder, but it's just like a sprain, so they said he's fine. Nothing wrong with him. Not that he's going to start, I guess, but I honestly think he should get traded by like week 4 to someone who needs him. Send him to Jacksonville.
Yeah, we need a quarterback.
And I think that is about all I have. Cause
the only other thing I had posted was I saw they were debating whether Bill Belichick was the greatest coach of all time.
The greatest NFL coach?
Yes. NFL coach.
It's so hard because he has no personality at all.
No.
But you also could compare him to Nick Saban, who is probably the greatest college coach of all time. So, I mean, okay, if you're going to look at straight like track record, yes. 5 Super Bowls, 8 appearances, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, I mean, okay, track record, yes, but I grew up in an era with that, 2000, 2001.
Yeah.
I was 7 years old, so yes, that's when I started understanding football. So since I've been alive, Coach Belichick and the Patriots have been like the gods of the NFL, So,
and it was funny because they were debating whether he was the greatest coach of all time, and they're like, okay, well, would Tom Brady be Tom Brady without Belichick?
you'll never know because
You won't know.
I mean, you could say that about a lot of things, though.
I found it funny that I was like, okay, what topic are you gonna say? Is he greatest coach of all time? And oh yeah, how about is Tom Brady?
Yeah,
Tom Brady
without? Would Kobe Bryant have 5 rings if it wasn't for Phil Jackson? It's one of those type. Would Michael Jordan have 6 rings if it wasn't for Phil Jackson? So I hate that conversation. And Tom's too old now at a point to where if Belichick were to step away for the next 2 years, like you're not going to have much of a scale there. So
No, that's 2 years.
I don't know if Bill's the best because of the way football's played now. And I'll tell you, he's probably the best schemer. But they also have the freaking the cheating crap they did.
Deflate.
They have Deflategate. What was the big one?
Oh boy, this is bad.
What was it called? Where they were filming practices and all that. I don't know. I can't think what they called it, but it was like 2007. They got in trouble for filming other teams' practices and all that went down.
Oh God.
I don't know why I want to say Watergate. I think it has something to do with presidents.
Watergate.
God.
Oh boy.
This is what everyone talked about. I don't know what it was called. I don't know the term of it, but I don't know. I mean, he's had that go against him, and I don't know. You can't. The Deflategate thing, even like that was stupid.
Yeah.
And that wasn't. I don't even know if you can put that on Belichick as a coach. Oh, Spygate.
Oh,
I
Spike.
knew there was a freaking gate in it. Yeah, that was where they said in the Super Bowl they had been illegally taping signals from like the other sideline, which like baffles me because in high school football you send film to each other, so you see what the other team.
I think college had
doing
like
on
a
the
same.
sideline. Yeah.
College had the same way with the Apple Watch.
Yeah. They
Or
did.
no, it was baseball. Like people were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Something along the lines
I
of that.
think Spygate came at a time before people realized how much the NFL like exchanges information. But all in all, I think they got a couple of draft picks and they paid a bunch of fines and blah 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 whatever. They still won Super Bowls and all that. So Bill Belichick, greatest coach of all time. I mean, he's definitely in the conversation. I honestly, off the top of my head, can't even. It has to be someone from like the 70s or like 60s or the 80s. Like, Jimmy Johnson or, Bill Cowher only won one ring. Mike Tomlin is not even that good. Wade Phillips. Any of those guys. So, but, track record, Bill Belichick's the best. As far as overall, the way he does things, I couldn't tell you. But, okay, I think that's it. We're running out of time here. So,
Yeah, for real.
I appreciate the listen to this. I appreciate JP for calling. Brett.
Sucks we couldn't do Facebook Live.
Yeah, we tried to do Facebook Live, but
Wi-Fi was booty,
Wi-Fi
man.
was, it was it was shot out for real. So, but we are having another video that we are going to post on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Just like a face to the show once again.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a couple clips, couple videos, coming up just to try and hype us up a little bit. If you have any comments, calls, questions, you want to tell me to F off, I don't really care. Just hit us up and give us some feedback. Obviously, we have a phone call attachment type deal now, so you can call and speak your mind and not have to physically drive all the way to my house. So that's nice. And hopefully there's more to talk about next week, and I hope Jalen opens his mouth.
For real.
So,
Another Jalen Ramsey show.
I think that's about all we got. Brett, you got anything to add on?
No, sir.
All right,
That's
guys.
it.
Join us next week. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good evening. That will conclude this evening's entertainment.
Wait a minute. Oh, my.
That's this week's episode of Roundtable Sports Talk podcast with your hosts, Austin and Brett. Don't forget to join us next week for another episode. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Roundtable Sports Talk. Thank you for listening.